Ghana is like the most helpful, friendliest people ever. Like if you ever have any questions, you just ask anybody and they'll point you in the right direction. Yeah, I'm stressing this so much because sheets are so important. Like it's hard to find and very possible to open up a bank account.
And did she bring US cash or Ghana currency?
We'll cover all that in today's video.
Hello, and thanks for tuning in for today's video of CSUIP, our alumni panel. And so these videos are about sharing alumni experiences. And I am also an alumni. My name is Gabriela De Assis. I studied abroad in Japan in the 2019-2020 school year. And today we're going to be talking about Ghana. There's going to be two parts to this video. Our first part, we're going to be talking about our academics, travel, and budget. And so we have one of our alumni, Julie, if you could give yourself brief introduction, your name, your program, your CSU campus, as well as what year you went to Ghana.
Okay, so my name is Julie Vargas. I went to Ghana 2019-2020 semester or school year. I am from Sonoma State University, and yeah.
Awesome. So I do want to say a little bit of a disclaimer. So the information and the stories we're sharing are accurate at the time that Julie went to Ghana with COVID and a lot of other circumstances changes. Some of this information might be different by the time that you're going abroad. So keep that in mind. For the latest information, visit our website at csuip.calstate.edu, and that's where you can get the program information, the academics, and the availability, as well as the different qualifications for the program that you have to go through. So let's get into academics. So talk to us a little bit about choosing which classes to enroll in, as well as, communicating with your academic advisor and, making sure that your classes were relevant. So tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, for sure. So definitely having the academic advising before you leave complete was super helpful for me. I had my classes listed out. I went onto the course catalog. Ghana has theirs available on their website. You can start looking at classes that might look similar. So I would suggest doing that process first. I think you have to get it signed off to start it going. So then when you get to Ghana, the enrollment process happens a few days when you're there, maybe the second or third day that you get there. And the counselors that you have, your aunties, your CSUIP, helps you and guides you through that process. So it's a little different because, you're abroad. The way that they have it, they post all the classes that they'll have available for that semester. Depending on the department you're in, you'll go find your department classes that are available for that semester. And if you do have issues, that always comes up, that you might not have the class that you signed off with your academic advisor. I definitely had that issue, and I got in touch with my advisor I sent him an email, was like, okay, so this isn't available this semester. Is there something I can do to replace it? And since I had the class list, I was able to, find something that was similar. And then we discussed it all through email. And that's how I kept in touch with my CSU campus advisor.
So throughout the school year, you were still keeping in touch with your advisor?
I sent emails whenever I was having any issues with
Perfect. Yeah, that's great advice. Definitely you don't want to be returning to your CSU and you're like, what classes and how do these translate, you know?
Yeah.
So tell us about a little bit of the differences in terms of grading system. I know when I do peer advisement, a lot of students are asking, you know, are classes harder, easier? Are they strict? Talk also like the class structure. Are there a lot of assignments, exams? How are midterms, finals in comparison to the US, and the student-professor relationship, as well as, you know, libraries. Where do you study? Where do you get books and other resources?
Yeah. So I'm in the theater arts, the performing arts program. So that's where I was doing my academics. And I generally in Ghana, the University of Ghana, the grading system is different than how it's set up here.
Okay.
I guess in a simple way, a B is like an A, like the grade average is a bit different. So
a B in Ghana translates to an A back in the US?
Okay. Yes. So you have that, which is kind of comforting to know. Like it's a little
you'll get a little boost when you come back.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a boost. The class structure is different. There's not as many assignments that get assigned to you because here, at least in my experience, you know, you have an assignment every week. You have a discussion of some sorts. In Ghana, it's more like they lecture you, you have your midterm, and you have your final. Okay. And you go through that etiquette within the first week that you're there with your CSUIP counselors that are in Ghana, and they kind of talk to you more about it, but it is different. It is like, you know, you have to stay on top of your stuff because as soon as you know, it's like midterm time.
So was it just midterm and finals that were the major things? Okay.
Depending on your classes, they have these things called practicals, and those were the more hands-on assignments. And since I was in theater, I had a few practicals within my class, and then they'll adjust, you know, if you have a practical, it might be there's no midterm and the practical counts as your midterm. So there is that. So that's kind of the structure. It's like practicals, midterms, and finals.
And when you went, were you junior, senior?
That was technically my fourth year. I had to come back just to complete a few things to graduate, but yeah, it was my senior year technically.
Okay, and so the classes that you were taking there, they were more upper division, major classes?
Major classes, yeah.
Okay, awesome. And tell us, I know you did mostly theater, but were there books that you had to get, class materials?
That's awesome. Depending on your department, because this school is really big compared to like our CSU campuses. It's a pretty big school, but it's not intimidating in the sense that your department has its own personal library. So if your department is like, you need to get these textbooks, I have these readings, your department's library, which normally an international student, they'll help you and tell you where it is. You know, ask a classmate or a professor. But there's a library in your department, and those are typically where your like more concentrated readings are. But if you do have like, you know, there's always a big library. I think it was the Baum Library. It's in the center of campus. You can get books, notebooks, paper, everything you can need, your Scantrons, all the things, all the good things. All the supplies.
Perfect.
And yeah, there's always people around. Like I'm telling you, Ghana is like the most helpful, friendliest people ever. Like if you ever have any questions, you just ask anybody and they'll point you in the right direction.
And then for enrollment, when I was in Japan, my university was a lottery enrollment process. How was the enrollment process there? Was it just all online?
So it's semi-online, like you go to your department and they have like a class list of the classes in the timetable. And then you have to do the whole like, oh, is this class going to fit with this class at this time? And then from there, once you find your classes, the international students have their own hall, international hall, IPO for short. And the CSU counselors have a lab for you, and once you do have to do a online version, so like to officially sign up,
get those classes. Okay, that's
so like the time schedules are not online, but when you enroll online.
Okay, Perfect. So that's it for academics. Let's talk a little bit about travel. I know when I went abroad, I wasn't completely sure what to bring and how much to bring. So tell us about, how did you pack? Did you use backpack, suitcase? Did you have a luggage? How did you do packing?
Two big luggages. For Ghana, I know that it was it's you get at the airport, each place that you go to, it tells you how many bags. I got to bring 250-pound bags. I don't know if it's different. Yeah, depending on your airline, you'll get all the information. Mm-hmm. So I took definitely something that you need to pack is sheets. Like in Ghana, it's really hard to find them. The bed that you'll have is a twin XL, which is like the college standard beds. I know we all have some of those extra sheets lying around. So I made sure I had that. I took a lot of exercisey, athletic, flowy clothes because it's very hot. Shoes, make sure you have some really good tennis shoes, sandals, open-toed, and then also what was important to pack was hair products, shampoo, conditioner. I think that was something that was important.
You didn't get them in Ghana?
I didn't. There's some things you can get in Ghana, but they are more the prices are higher for products that you like Dove, say. So if those are certain things, I think that I took a big bottle of conditioner, a big bottle of shampoo, and it lasted me the majority of the time, and it was way more convenient than trying to find the conditioner.
Definitely,
it sounds crazy, but conditioner and shampoo are really hard to find. But sunscreen is always a good thing. I know there's a lot of bugs, mosquito repellent. Once you get there too, there's also other repellents that you might want to use because the ones that are in Ghana are specifically for their bugs, but having some something to read, things to, as I think when I was packing, I kind of forgot. I was I need to entertain myself. So that's something that I just should share with you guys. But yeah,
definitely. It's funny you mentioned the bug spray because I know when I went to Japan, I didn't know what the bug spray was called. So I had to Google it and then, find a store, find pictures so that I knew what I was asking for. So definitely if there's, hair products, lotion, or something specific to your body or how you do your makeup or whatever it may be, you might want to bring that from the U.S. to the country that you're going in.
Something else that I just remembered is a good heel or boot, because there is times where you have to get dressed up more. And in Ghana, it's you can't wear open toed shoes into certain restaurants and events, church and things like that. So it's good to have a shoe with not a heel, but a shoe with a boot, a nice boot, a covered
fancier shoe,
a little nicer and a flat something that you can wear to say church, a nice dinner, because that religion that's the whole thing. But
definitely, I remember when I did go, I tried to have at least something that I could wear to a more businessy type of event in case there was a meet and greet or a fancier dinner. I remember that packing that as well. So what are things that you might not think of bringing? I know you mentioned the book or something to entertain yourself. Did you bring a gift for staff or your host? I don't know if what living you said. Is it dorm?
Yeah, they have hostels, the church dorm, and they're separated, and it's all the international students. And typically, you get paired with someone that's in the CSU or California program. But yeah, I'm stressing this so much because sheets are so important. It's hard to find and all the things.
What about pillowcases?
Pillowcase, a sheet, and when I arrived, our aunties or CSUIP help, counselors gave us a little welcome bag, and it had a pillow.
Oh, okay.
But I did take my own pillow. That's just because I like it. But yeah, and then yes, I took some family letters that I got, some photos just to decorate my room a little, because you're gonna be there for a while. So
you want to have, a little piece of home with you.
A little piece of home with you. And I had like a family photo that kept me going. I was like, oh, I'm here, I'm having a great time, and I know my family's at home, so it's nice to have that memorabilia.
Awesome. Yeah, those are great advice. I remember when I went to Japan, their pillowcases were a bit different, where it was like a sheet that goes over the pillow and then a strap on the back of the pillow. Like, it wasn't covering the whole pillow. So I remember, like, sometimes sheets and pillowcases can be really weird or really difficult to find in other countries. So great advice. Be sure to bring that when you go.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's talk about budgeting. How do you budget to go to study abroad? And then let's, in a bit, talk about the money situation while abroad, whether it was cash, card, and how you got your money.
Yeah, so budgeting is a really good, really good question. So, because that was something I needed a lot of like help and guidance, and it was. We're very lucky that our CSU program, like the whole thing transferred over, and it's still through the program. But what you have when you get there, you just have to be aware. I don't know, aware of your spending. Your value of your money is more in Ghana. I don't know what the rate is right now, but it is more. And when you get there, you there's this course that you take with the CSUIP counselors, and they kind of, tell you about the customs of like, cash is very important in Ghana.
Okay.
They don't really, you can use your card when you're like maybe at the mall or when you're at like bigger establishments, but typically it's like you're buying food from a vendor.
It's
you
cash
need to have
based.
small bills and cash. Yeah. Where your hostel is located, there's a banking square, so you're close to like the banks, and I think that I didn't do this, and I definitely should have started a bank account that's like international, and you can connect your like banking information and just transfer yourself money, because that saves fees, which also helps you with your budgeting, because then you don't have to think about, oh, I took out this money, but I also have my $5 fee from my account and the ATM that isn't there. So I know that a lot of people use Charles Schwab. And that is definitely something I would recommend everyone go look into to get that card before you study abroad and leave.
Did you guys have the option of opening a bank account in Ghana, a local bank account?
Yes, my roommate actually opened a bank account.
Okay, what was her experience like?
She opened a bank account, and she personally really liked it because she had a lot of cash with her. So she got to put that money in the account, and she could just pull it out because it's, all local and you don't get those fees. So if that is something that ends up happening where you have a lot of cash, you can open up a bank account, and the banking squares are there, and they're used to having international students come by. So they're very much helpful, way more helpful than the that I know. But it's very possible to open up a bank account.
And did she bring U.S. cash or Ghana currency? Okay.
It was both. So she would take out money, and because it was sometimes to her, it was a lot.
You don't want to be holding it.
She didn't want to be holding it. So she had her Ghana card to put the cash that she had been taking out to.
Okay, yeah, that's great. So you talked about accessing your money as well as banking. Tell me a little bit about, if you don't mind, how you saved up for study abroad, whether it was, jobs or scholarships.
Yeah, I am a financial aid student, so I got that package right before I left, which was my reimbursement, and that's how I saved, because I get the amount, and then I budgeted for the rest of the year or for the rest of the semester because, you get it every 2 semesters. But before that, because you do have to, get your passport, your shots, all the things that you need, travel, wear, gear, all the things that you need to get. I I worked, I did babysitting at my mom's flower shop, so I got to work there for the summer. So finding a little bit of those things to like help you stay on track before you go is really helpful. But I had family that was also very helpful, and like the goal of like, I want to study abroad, and will help you get there.
Definitely. Yeah. I did financial aid as well, and kind of just doing the finance, how CSUIP does the finances, and having it all go through your CSU university was really helpful for me because, I got to keep financial aid, and it was just a lot less complicated in terms of money. So definitely, knowing your budget, how much you can spend, and also, saving up for that beforehand is really important. So we were able to cover those 3 topics really quickly. So I'm glad, because for part 2, we're going to be covering some heavy hitters. We're going to talk about daily life and culture. So part 1, we just covered academics, travel, and budgeting. Do you have any last words on any of these 3 topics before we end part 1?
Yeah, I think when it comes to academics, you just have to be really patient, and you have to trust the process, because you'll have some really good counselors in Ghana that will help you, guide you through the whole thing. If you ever have any questions, make sure you use your email. Like, your email is your best friend. Email people back at CSU, your home campus, so definitely. And then travel, make sure you take your sheets, good shoes, all the things. And then budgeting, I really do recommend, starting that account, being aware of fees, and those things creep up because that also eats into your budget. And if you do have a certain amount of money that you have for that semester or the year, think about it before you go into the, really deep into the semester. Because I think once you get to the first week, you'll find out, how much this costs, how much is a breakfast on the average, or the food, and things like that. But, just also just having fun and trusting in the process, I think, is a really good motto.
Definitely. I forgot to ask earlier about, in terms of academics, how was the process of getting stuff credited back here in the US when you returned? What was that process like?
Yeah. To get your stuff credited, you have to have all of these things uploaded onto your CSU portal. And throughout the semester, they'll let you know, have to upload this syllabus, you have to upload these things. And if you do it when they tell you, when you get back, it's so easy. You don't even I had everything uploaded. One semester started, second semester started. I put on my forms, and I made sure that everything was where I needed to be. And then when I got back, by the time the process of everyone's grades coming in, I went onto my academic advising, and I saw all of my IP grades transferred. So you just have to stay on top of it when they tell you, because when you do that, by the end of the process, you'll be like, oh, and then you have your grades, So just to stay on it.
Definitely. So for those students who are wondering what she's talking about when you say upload, so when the portal that you do your application process through, it's going to be active throughout your study abroad and afterwards. So you'll get prompts, and just like on your application, there'll be checklists of action items that you need to do. There will also be action items while you're studying abroad, and it will tell upload your syllabus, upload this document. And then so you can have that as a checklist while you're abroad of things that you're supposed to do. And like she said, your either your CSU IP coordinator in country or other CSU IP staff will be communicating with you and telling you, hey, be sure to turn these documents in, so that when you come back to the US, that transferring process is a lot smoother. You don't want to be back here in the US and you're panicking and saying, oh no, where is my syllabus? How do I get this information? It's a lot easier if you upload it as you go and while you're still in country. So keep that in mind. And that concludes part 1. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for part 2. We'll be talking about culture and all that other fun stuff. Thank you so much, Julie, for joining us.